I started researching this case and realized I was actually looking at the wrong Ellen Greenberg. Apparently there are two Ellen Greenbergs who both died of mysterious deaths, so let's talk about both of them. We'll discuss this one first. So a horrible blizzard hit and it forced Ellen here to go back home. This was around the end of January 2011. She lived in this apartment with her boyfriend Sam Goldberg. Claims he left for the gym, came back around 5:30, and couldn't get her door open. Meanwhile, during this time, he was texting her saying things like, "Hello, why can't I get a hold of you? You better have a good excuse," kind of being playful. We've seen this before though. I'm skeptical. Neighbors even can confirm that he was shouting for her to open the door. He did eventually kick it open, and unfortunately inside was this school teacher found with 20 stab wounds. And for some reason, the police ruled it a suicide. Unfortunately, I may say his name wrong, but a Pittsburgh forensic pathologist took a look at the case. Kyril H. Wecht? Sorry. This man also famously changed the theory that it was just a single bullet that killed John F. Kennedy, claimed he has no idea why they called this a suicide. It was most definitely a homicide. They also even brought Henry Lee in, who was on the defense for O.J. Simpson. He agreed it was also a homicide. As they should. The parents then pretty much sued everybody in 2019. There's no way that Ellen would commit suicide, first of all, according to the family, and also the way the scene was set up. How do you stab yourself 20 times in the back of the neck and on your chest? The parents did win the legal battle in 2020, and a new trial is set in 2021. And this is the Ellen Greenberg that I was originally doing research on, who also has a pretty mysterious death. Ellen Greenberg here was actually a children's book writer. She was last seen in June 2015. She was known to be disabled due to having 2 brain tumors removed, which in the end caused her seizures. She was 42 years old and they found her in a field. No update. This is a very interesting case that could incite a lot of different opinions. In mid-November of 2006, Abraham Shakespeare went to a convenience store before heading to Miami with his co-worker Michael Ford. They were just stopping for drinks and cigarettes, and Michael asked Abraham if he wanted anything, and Abraham said he wanted some lottery tickets. And according to Abraham, he did give Michael the money for the lottery tickets. It was like $2. And well, he won. Michael would go on later to sue Adams, saying that those were his lottery tickets. I believe Abraham. I believe he gave Michael the money for them. Case closed in my opinion. According to Abraham though, after he won the lottery, it seemed that his friend group just wanted money from him, which really irritated him. He had about $17 million, which he bought a Rolex, a new car, and he moved out of the gated community that he was in. And almost exactly 3 years after him winning the lottery, his family reported him missing. Abraham's family reported him missing in November. However, they stated they hadn't seen him since April of that year. They thought he was off somewhere on the Caribbean Sea. One of his associates was D.D. Moore. Together they ran Abraham Shakespeare LLC, where she was apparently given some money, like $1 million, to buy new cars, claiming that these were a gift from Abraham. She did purchase a house though, and a tip led investigators to the backyard, where 9 feet under a concrete slab they found Abraham's body. Dee was immediately arrested for the murder of Abraham. Her story seemed to change multiple times though. She blamed drug dealers, her own 14-year-old son, and then later claimed that she had killed Abraham in self-defense. Investigators claim that Abraham died around the beginning of April, right after his family had seen him. Dee apparently had access to a cell phone and was texting his family, claiming to be him. And for $50,000, she was trying to find people to take the blame for his death and even pay people to move him. She was convicted of first-degree murder and to this day claims she was set up.
This man ate his ex-girlfriend. In Kentucky at 2:30 a.m., Tammy Jo Blayton had called the police because for some odd reason her ex-boyfriend was trying to kick down her door. This was her ex, Joseph Aberhansley. When police came, they just yelled at him and told him to go home, but that was their biggest mistake. The next day, Tammy didn't show up to work, and the work was worried, so they called the police. When the police got to the door, they broke in, and guess what they saw? It was Tammy's body dismembered in a tub, and Joseph eating a plate of her organs. To hear what happened next, full story on my YouTube channel, link in bio.
Today we'll be talking about Courtney Lake. Courtney was a 24-year-old girl who lived with her parents at St. Lawrence, Newfoundland. Or Finland, I've been seeing it pronounced differently. Now she was last seen on June 7th of 2017 on video footage walking down her street and meeting up with a black truck, getting in that truck, and that was the last time she was ever seen. She had a 7-year-old son with a man named Jason Pike. They had split up and he had sole custody because she had her own demons according to her ex-boyfriend. Now before she disappeared, she was doing much better and was in a better place. She was dating this man named Philip Smith, and the theory is that she was breaking up with him because he didn't necessarily fit in her new lifestyle. Regardless, he became very abusive and beat her. Now, he had no previous criminal records, but during this time, he really did a lot of things to get on his permanent record, especially regarding her. Part 2 is already up. Now, on May 15th, Philip found out that she had a new boyfriend, and he sent nude images of her to this new boyfriend. Now, again, he was in court because you just can't send out pictures of somebody like that without their permission, and that is illegal. Now, he actually had a restraining order filed against him, and it was granted, meaning he was to not have any contact with her whatsoever. On June 5th, however, she had to call authorities because he had called her 33 times. And he was found that day circling her neighborhood. Now, he was known for often circling her neighborhood, which is just creepy. On June 7th, he was in jail and he was set to appear for court. He decided to plead guilty to show remorse and abide by the rules according to his lawyer. Those rules would be the ones in the restraining order. Now, on that day, Courtney Lake actually testified against him. She said so many things that he had done to her and basically said that she never wanted to see him or have anything to do with him ever again. They were both released from the courtroom.
Here's another UFO story for you. In 1979, Robert Taylor stumbled across a huge flying dome in the woods. As he got close to it, 2 spheres with metal spikes, kind of like sea mines, dropped down and sped towards him. He remembers a sour smell along with the sensation of being dragged before he lost consciousness. When he woke, he was confused, had a migraine, and was originally back where he was, although the objects were now gone. Some suggested he suffered an epileptic seizure, many stroke, or even hallucinated after eating deadly nightshade berries. But Taylor, who died in 2007, never sought publicity or money, standing by every word of his account.
Interesting fact, in 1972, John List was a proposed suspect in the infamous D.B. Cooper case because of the spot-on timing of his disappearance and the amount of money Cooper requested, $200,000, which would have been enough for the mortgage on Breeze Knoll, his mansion, and all of his other debts. Even though the FBI doesn't consider him a suspect anymore, I really like this theory. We can discuss this another.
This painting is cursed. It's titled The Hands Resist Him from 1974. Shortly after, 3 people who came in contact with the painting died. The owner of the art gallery where the painting was shown, the LA Times critic who reviewed it, and then the owner of the painting himself. The painting resurfaced in the year 2000 on eBay. The owner of the painting's daughter said that the kids would come into her room at night, and claims that people who came in contact with the painting became mysteriously ill. Well, what do you think?